Let's get it!
Broadcasting to you from a little grass shack in the middle of the Pacific.
Live in the place to be.
Well, they're actually in the Bay Area.
Yeah!
But they are the premier Pacifica show that shines a spotlight on positive Pacific Islanders.
You listening to the sound.
Role models coming brown every Thursday night at 6.
East to west, we getting hurt.
Brought to you by Pacifica by Design. It's the iconic Faika podcast with your hosts.
Can you?
There we go.
There you go.
What's up, Naki?
Hey,
You all ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
All right. So today, season 7, episode, I think it's 13, 12, 13, somewhere in there. Once we get into double digits,
12. Yeah, it's 12.
we start to lose it. So season 7, episode 12 of the FICA podcast. Today we got a bunch of stuff today, but the back end in the second half, we will be on an interview with Calvin Chang from the Pacific Islander Data Policy Lab at UCLA's at UCLA Center. So that's going to be awesome. That is in the back half of the show. In the first half, we have, let's see, Lilo and Stitch back in the news again for the Pacific Islander side. More controversy with the live play. We have community announcements. A lot of those good things coming up. We're going to talk about. We have our Pacifica Proud portion. And let's see, the UFC middleweight title goes back to Polynesia, the 185-pound title. Israel Adesanya took the strap, 12 pounds of UFC gold, back to New Zealand, and he was greeted with a Maori welcome. So that's the show today. Naki, what's up?
Hey, so what do I got? Just a lot of busy week. Like I just seen that the Oakland A's are making a move to Las Vegas, Nevada. So that's like just hitting.
Wonder if they play right next to each other in Las Vegas the way they did next to the
Right.
Raiders in the East Bay.
Right. And so, this mayor that's been in for like 4 months is like, she had what do you call it? Press release and is all upset, not upset, but just a little difficult, not happy with the decision. So, I just
Oakland mayor?
the Oakland mayor, and I can't remember her name because she's only been in office for like 4 months. But Oakland A's are moving to Nevada, and they plan to build like a $1.5 billion ballpark there. So I guess they're out. I'm just sad for Oakland because then there's the jobs are going away, and so that's just going to add to Bay Area's unemployment.
It's tough because, if you want a new stadium,
Right.
that's where what the our Dubs went, right? They left
They
Oakland.
went across the bay to
So-
San Francisco.
I mean, they didn't go all the way outside of the state, but they
Right.
did leave, Oakland,
But
and
they
then you
left
have
Oakland.
the Raiders. Raiders are
Right.
like they're like I don't know. They're like getting a new husband or new wife every few years. They're from LA,
Right.
they're from Oakland, they're back from there. Now they're from Vegas. But
Yeah.
it's tough because, it's really the community that ends up footing the bill for stadiums and those kind of things. So
Right. So I'm kind of I'm happy that they're going to get a new stadium, but I'm sad that it's not in Oakland. So a big loss for Oakland. So behind the lava lavas tuning in on Facebook. Thank you for tuning in. That's probably Michael. um And then, what else happened this week? I mean, that was just literally right before we came on, I seen that. There was an earthquake yesterday, close to Antioch. It was like 3.7. So if you're in the 3.7, that's like a small earthquake for
from
California.
you're from the Bay Area, that's a small earthquake.
Yeah,
We're like
that's a
from
small
London.
if you're outside of California, you're thinking we're crazy, but really 3.7 is like, uh
Rattle your
it's
dishes.
like that. It's like that. There was no damage, no injuries reported yesterday because again, it was only 3.7.
All that does is give you stuff to put on your social media.
Right, right. So, I was thinking like well, thank you for no damages. Thank you for no injuries. Small earthquake, but I was thinking that that was just like the Warrior fans pissed off at the
Oh,
round 1
the
basketball, the playoffs. The
man,
Warriors are
Warriors
down.
taking their lumps in, up here in Sacramento. It's,
Oh,
long time since the Kings
right,
have even been in the playoffs, so it's nice
right.
for Sacramento, but man, it's tough watching our team get a little bit older, you know what I
Yes,
mean? Like,
yeah,
it's
just
they've
a little bit
used
older,
to
and
being,
so,
they're used to being the 1, 2, or 3 seed.
uh
Now they're struggling for their playoff lives,
they're
but
trying to
hopefully
get it
things change
right,
now they get back
but,
into
like, they got beat twice, like, so they're coming tonight they play tonight at 7 p.m., so they've gotta win the next 3 games, I'm calling it. They're winning the next 3 games to move on to the next round, and then
Ooh,
all you Sacramento King fans, you can go back to being Warrior fans.
Julio, wow, just lit it off. He said, "Light the beam." That's
Yeah.
definitely a
Light the
Sacramento.
beam. No, no beam, no beam. See, there you go. You moved to Sacramento and look at you. Look at you. No, 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 no. After the beam goes away and the Warriors take it in 3, the next 3 games, y'all will be coming back to the Warriors. So I'm not worried about y'all. I'm not worried about y'all. You see Lily? Lily is on my side. So there you go. That is my call. People moved to Sacramento and done lost their mind. Now and lost their mind, Julio. So yeah, so the Warriors tonight at 7. Stay tuned. I'm calling it now. 3 games, and we out.
Hey, they're home. They're
They're
home.
home.
They gotta
They're
turn
home.
things around. Is Green playing? Or he's
No, he,
suspended?
he was suspended for a day just cause he was defending his teammate. That's all I can say about
He's
that.
defending his foot.
He was defending his foot. There goes my Maury checking in. Maury is checking in on Facebook. Hi, Maury, or Lily, or Julio Wow. And where's Dan? Tell Dan hello. So yes, um, Warriors at 7. Check it out. And if we're still going at 7, let me know what the score is. So yeah, that's what I've been worried about these last couple of days is earthquake and Warriors, but I think it was the Warriors fans that caused the earthquake, so we're good.
Might
So
be, that might be the A's fans throwing stuff.
that a combination of the A's fans and the Warriors fans, that is a 3.7 earthquake. So
Mhm.
that's all I got. How about you? How was your well, go tell people, do you want to tell people why you're not in the studio
Oh,
today?
yeah.
Sure.
So, I didn't go last week because I didn't feel good.
Yeah.
I didn't feel good. I didn't feel good.
Yeah.
Um, and no, was that? I don't remember. What happened was Easter, we had a, Easter dinner at my house, and everybody got COVID. Everybody got
Mm,
COVID that was in the room. Um, so I was Monday was kind of bad. Tuesday was
yeah.
rough. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday was horrible. Well, that was
Horrible.
bad.
Yeah.
And all I did was sleep this weekend.
Yeah.
So I'm, hydrated,
Right.
playing it safe over we canceled an event yesterday, and I'm going to keep it through the weekend just to make sure, because the last thing I want to do is get anybody sick.
Yes.
So I'm blessed, thank God, that
Thank
I
you.
am feeling better.
Yes.
And it's still very tired. I'll do things, and I'll be like good, and I'll think, oh yeah, I'm completely over it, and then all of a sudden I can't keep my head up, and I'm trying
Yes.
to stay awake. So
COVID is still real, people.
COVID's still
It's
here, still real.
still
Washing
real.
my hands, doing and everybody got it.
Yeah.
Uh,
but
Yeah.
everybody's getting better. You know, the young ones, they probably didn't get sick.
Barely.
Yeah, there you go.
They're kind of and move on. I'm like, I wish I were young. I wish I were young, but
Yeah,
it looks like we're all going to be okay. So prayers,
good, good.
good thoughts,
Yay.
energy, all felt, needed, appreciated. Let's see. I think that was it. I've been tuning in with playoffs with Ty and I've been. He's a huge basketball fan. He's a
Uh-huh.
basketball coach now. He's coaching AAU team, uh,
Nice.
so he's way more technical as we're watching. He's like, "Oh, it's a little flare screen they use when they have good matchups down low."
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I remember I used to explain basketball to him, and now he's explaining to me why players are doing certain things and all that good stuff. So he called that early on the Draymond Green foul on Sabonis. He
Mhm.
Before it all, right when they called it, he was grabbing onto his foot, and I didn't see that in the beginning. Live as I was watching,
Uh-huh.
and they showed again, and clearly he was doing that. But um, got a lot of time to do nothing but stare at the screen. So been doing that. And that's about it, just
Uh-huh.
COVID, a little COVID this week.
Oh, well, I'm glad you're feeling better
Yeah,
and you're being safe and staying home because we got a lot of shit to do. So get better because next week it's go, 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 go.
that's a technical term for Nike.
Yeah.
We got
Let's go, 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 go.
a lot of stuff to do. We do have a lot of events coming up, and it seems like the world's starting to, kind of catch its stride and get out of
Uh,
keep COVID in the rearview mirror to a certain degree. Obviously, it's still here. Um, but a lot of events coming up, and we go through our community announcements. It's nice to see because there's been a long time before we were just chatting about this earlier that we got like one of the days coming up. We have 3 events to get to.
mm,
Been a long time, been a long minute since we've had multiple events to go to over
yeah.
a period of a weekend. So looking
Yeah.
forward to it. Looking forward to the summer. Summer's like right around the corner.
Yes. It's getting warm. So I love it.
Let's see. Um, so Lilo and Stitch back in the news again. Pacific Islanders will remember obviously Lilo and Stitch. It's
Right.
the story out of Hawaii. But then you'll remember that then came the costumes, right? And there was
Mhm.
an uproar about, cultural appropriation. People are wearing a Maui costume, or people
Uh-huh.
are wearing a Lilo costume. And what else we get mad about? We got mad that we have Polynesians that look like Roman Reigns and Jason Momoa and The Rock, and for some reason, Maui doesn't look like um, the
Jason Momoa.
calendars
Yeah.
that are out there to model for. So there was a lot to get mad about, but it wasn't one of those things where you had people trying out for visual roles.
Uh-huh.
So it was like, did they draw people that look like Pacific Islanders? And I think they did a good job. They did a good job of drawing, Lilo and her older sister and uh,
Uh-huh.
Pacific Islanders in there. But now they have a
A
live
live show that's gonna happen.
show. So now we have actors and actresses trying out for roles, and of
Right.
course, there's more discontent, right? Um, so I think we had uh, the Maya Ke Aloha. So Lilo looks like Lilo. You know what I mean? If you
Mhm.
if you go online and you look at Maya Ke Aloha, who is the Hawaiian actress, beautiful little girl, uh,
Mm.
is playing Lilo, looks just pretty much like um,
Do we have a picture of her?
I think we do. But then comes the controversy, right? And it's the actress that's playing Nani, right? So she's from Hawaii. She has Hawaiian blood. She's a Pacific Islander.
Mhm.
I always remember Sister Nani used to talk about this that, I'm too light to be brown. I'm too brown to be light.
Yeah.
Then that's the uproar is there a colorism issue going on because what is her name? Leslie? Last name Aguidong. She is fair
Sydney.
What's that?
Sydney?
Sydney. She's fair skinned for a Pacific Islander,
Uh,
right? So
yeah.
it's now the uproar is she dark enough to be playing a Polynesian? And there's huge uproar on PI Twitter, on the Pacific Islanders on Twitter. I don't know about specifically PI Twitter, but there is the why is she so light skinned? Why does she doesn't look Polynesian enough? What do you think about that? Are you glad to see our culture up there on the big screen and having those images out there,
Yeah.
or are you pissed off about the casting, or both, or none? Like we've seen this with just the whole topic of Lilo and Stitch a lot ever since the costumes, I guess. Lilo and Stitch
I
didn't.
know. I've missed the whole controversy. I just, like, literally right before the show, I popped it up, but I can, like, you showed me the picture of Lilo, which do you have it? Are you able to pop it up?
Uh-huh.
Um,
Man.
there's, she's the little girl that looks just like, I mean, you're like, "Oh, she looks like Lilo," and then we see the picture of I popped up the picture of Sydney, is it Agudong?
Yeah.
And, beautiful girl, but to me, she doesn't look like what Nani looks like in the cartoon, and so, that just threw me just a little off, like, "Oh, there she goes. That's who
Seth
is."
Maya, Kealoha.
Yes, is
Yeah.
playing,
I mean, that's a pretty good
Lilo.
job there.
Yeah, that's close, you know
That's
what I
a
mean? It's a little.
beautiful little Polynesian girl.
Right, right, and then Sydney is, she doesn't look nothing like Nani.
Yeah,
And
and
not
that
that she should, like, I get it's a fictional character, but I don't know, like, some
yeah.
can say we would be arguing it if it was a non-Pacific Islander playing Nani, right? And now that it's a Pacific Islander playing Nani, she doesn't look like she doesn't look like the stereotype or whatever you wanna call it, so, um,
And that there's the picture that I grabbed,
yeah,
was I mean, that's a picture I didn't crop those together, right? So I'm sure
right,
somebody got the lightest
somebody,
picture they
yeah,
could get of Elizabeth and
right,
the darkest picture they could get of Nani and put those together. So who
right,
knows? I don't know. I don't have enough to it, but I
right,
mean, I guess the discussion is, are we glad these discussions are out there, that we're having these discussions? Are we just upset about, what
yeah, I mean, was it was she offered the part? Did she try out for the part? Was it an open call? I don't know, like, what PI what PI actresses tried out for that part? You know
right.
what I mean? Like,
We don't know. Maybe a
we
whole
don't
bunch,
know. We
maybe
have
none
no
did.
idea.
Who knows?
But that just goes with that, like, and then I pulled up the voices of the characters of the cartoon thingy, and it was just like just Tia Carrera played Nani. Her voice was Nani, and she was the only PI in the cast that I could see real quick. So I don't know. Are
What's your
we
boyfriend's name? David?
what's that?
Did she have a boyfriend? Nani?
Yes, she had a love interest. She had a love interest, and it was I don't know. He wasn't PI. At least I didn't do enough research because I just popped this up like 5 minutes before we got on just to because it was a topic, but, I don't know. I don't know, like, now, if it would okay, here's the thing. If it was not a PI person playing Nani, the crowd would be going crazy about it's
We
not a
lose
PI person, right?
we lose it.
Now we have a PI person, like, she was born and raised on the Big Island, right? And now the thing is she doesn't look PI enough, so you can't
So,
win.
yeah,
You
sure
can't win. You
sure
just can't win. You just
the,
can't.
the casters, whoever did the casting is probably like, "What? How are
I
people
know.
upset?"
Yeah. I don't know. I'm happy that a PI person is playing Nani. Um, it's not like they gave us a picture of Nani, right, in the cartoon. In the cartoon, they're saying this is what Nani looks like. Does the actress look like Nani? No, but
Right.
what can you do? That's why we gotta make our own movies, right? We gotta buy us, for us, and make our own movies,
Well, let's flip
that
it. So,
reflect it. I mean, it does reflect like, I don't know.
what
I'm
if
lost.
the
Anyway.
what if the live player of the movie came out first, right?
Right.
And Elizabeth was playing Nani, right? Then
Syd
the cartoon will come out, and they draw the cartoon to look like Elizabeth. And
Sydney.
either way, right? Either way,
Yeah.
somebody's going to be upset. So you're not going to make everybody happy.
Right,
Personally, I just like that the discussion is out there.
right.
Um,
It's a
you
good
know,
discussion.
it's a good discussion, and
Yeah,
it's
and you can debate it all day long. I
right.
just either or, like, we ain't never happy. We ain't never happy. So there you go. There you go. So that, well, I'll go well, I don't know if I'll go see the live. I like Lilo and Stitch, the cartoon, too much, so there you go.
Mm,
I am looking forward to, what is, Ariel? Little Mermaid. I'm
Little
looking
Mermaid.
forward to that. I'm looking
Is that
forward to the live
a
action.
live action?
Did it come out already? No, it did not.
There you go.
So there you go. Go see it, make up your own mind. This is just our thoughts.
Yeah,
Uh,
but I mean, just I'm happy that it's out there. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like
yeah,
there's something for us to argue or to not like or to it's better than not having anything to
yes,
be upset about, I guess.
yeah,
Um,
so
let's see. One more. We're gonna do our community announcements in Pacifica Proud when we come back.
right.
Um, one more topic before we go to our interview with Calvin Chang, the UFC middleweight title. I think were we? Yeah, we were both um, watching not together, but there's a picture of Israel Adesanya from New Zealand, and
Ooh, that was such a good fight.
that is Alex Pajeda.
Uh-huh.
And the background of this story is Alex had beaten Israel
Right.
3 times by knockout or by stoppage. So
But
this
not at the not all
one at
through
the
the
UFC,
UFC, right?
one at
One
the
other?
UFC,
Right,
twice in kickboxing. Won a decision, stopped him. Then they came to the UFC, stopped
right.
him again in the UFC. So he had lost two of three, two by stoppage. And
I I liked him because he lives in New Zealand. That's about all I got out of that.
yeah, so I haven't been an Israel fan because he's the one that beat Robert Whitaker, and
Uh-huh.
Robert. Anybody who beat the
Yes.
PI, we're all salty about that, right?
Right,
So
right, right,
I
right,
haven't been a big Israel fan, but he is from New Zealand,
right.
and so I was kind of, it wouldn't be bad to see the belt go back to Polynesia,
Right.
and he did. And so he got a welcome when he got to New Zealand. They did a haka for him right in the middle of the street.
Nice.
So it was pretty cool. Pretty
Yeah.
cool to see, Polynesia holding the belt again. Robert Whitaker.
Yes. Proud. There you go.
What's that?
I mean, they were proud of him.
Very, very.
Home, someone from home does good. Now, of course, if he ever fights Whitaker again, I'm going for Whitaker, of course.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
we did watch last week. Oh, it was it the same? Did we talk about that last week?
What's
Oh,
that?
dang,
Max
Max Holloway.
Holloway.
Yeah,
Yes. So Max
that was a
Holloway
good fight.
had
And he's so humble, he's so respectful, like, people were not to go off on the topic, but Max Holloway, he went his fight, the people were booing his opponent, which I can't remember his name right now. And he was like, "Hey, basically don't boo him. He did a good job fighting. He's humble." Like, and
you
Max
know
Holloway's very humble. So,
That's a veteran move because so they don't interview both people except for in the main events.
right.
So
And
Max knew the microphone that Daniel Cormier was after he got done interviewing Max. He knew he was going to go to his opponent
right.
and interview his opponent, and the Kansas City crowd was behind Max
I
Holloway.
was like,
They
"What the heck?" I
loved
mean,
Max Holloway.
during the fight, they were screaming, "Holloway, Holloway." I was like, "Man,
So
I hope he wins."
he knew they were gonna take the mic over there, and so he said before the end of his interview, he was like, "Look, don't boo him because it was
Right.
he's a game fighter, really good fighter. That's an up and coming guy. That's going to be that kid is going to be a somebody in a couple of years, or even he and Max fight again. So a lot of respect shown. Good to see Max get the win. That is a tough win to come by. Up and coming star. You're gonna see that guy more in the UFC,
Yeah.
and good for Max because Max needed a win. So
Super.
there's I don't know who the next PI fighter is. We don't have, the big names. We do not have Tai Tuivasa lined up for anything. Tyson Pedro's not lined up for any. Actually, I think Junior Tafa is going to be the next UFC Pacific Islander that we're following, I think. And then Brad Tavares from Hawaii has a fight coming up as well. But anyway, we are that kind of a segue there. We are doing a collaboration show with Behind the Lava Lava, all MMA/combat sports, and we're looking for our next date for our next show. So we'll probably just pick our next pay-per-view and preview that card. So look for that. And we're also looking to nail down a name. So we're not calling it the PBD Behind the Lava collaboration. That doesn't roll off the tongue very well. So that's where we are with that. We are going to go to our interview with Calvin Chang. Always good to hear from the Data Policy Lab at UCLA. And he's got some big things coming up. He and we were Alicia Talua reached out to us and kind of gave us the heads up. So we wanted to make sure that we gave Calvin some time. So I think, Mena, if you can bring Calvin in. There he is.
There he is. Hey,
Your background.
Calvin.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Let me just let everyone know. Richard Calvin Chang, Calvin, we call him Calvin, is the Data Analytical Director and co-founder of the Native Hawaiian and Pacific Islander Data Policy Lab at UCLA's Center for Health Policy Research. Calvin is Native Hawaiian through his grandmother on his father's side, who hails from the Grace family from Kailua Kona on the Big Island. He co-authored the Native Hawaiian and Pacific Islander Data Policy Platform and recently released a series of dashboards featuring NHPI data across states and California counties. His work focuses on making data accessible for NHPI communities and ensuring our communities are accurately counted. That is so important. He was appointed to the Census Bureau's National Advisory Committee in 2021 and is also board chair for Pacific Islander Health Partnership. He has a JD from Seton Hall School of Law, okay, Calvin, and an MS in Computational Analysis and Public Policy from the University of Chicago. Welcome, Calvin. Yay! Thank you for joining us this evening. We're so happy to have you on because data is so, so, so important, right?
Absolutely.
So tell us about the work that you're doing and why, so that people know how important this is.
Sure. So the Native Hawaiian Pacific Islander Data Policy Lab is really focused on trying to make data more accessible, especially for our community organizations. And we know our community organizations are often at a competitive disadvantage when they have to go after funding and resources for our communities. And it's often because funders, they want to see the data. They want to see the justification. Why does their community need the funding? And for much larger communities that have access to their data, not a problem. But for ours, we have to go digging through spreadsheets, through websites. And so what we try to do is make sure that our community organizations have a simple, easy to access place so that they can get the data when they need to and not have to go through like all of this digging around trying to find what should be easily available.
Right.
And we're also trying to advocate for more equitable data policies. And what I kind of mean by equitable data policies, because I know that sounds very technical and very data-ish, to be frank.
Yeah.
I mean,
break it down, Calvin.
When I think of what do we mean when we talk about equity? We mean we want to make sure that the most vulnerable among us get the resources that they need. Because if we only go by whoever has the most resources already or who already has the biggest population, then the people at the bottom, the people who may need the most resources and attention may never get to the front of the line. And
Right.
so, to me, in my mind, equity means being able to get them a fair shot at getting the resources they need. And for our community, that means making sure that we're represented in the data. Because if you don't exist in the data, we found that you don't really exist in the
You
eyes of
don't
the decision
exist.
makers, the
Right.
policymakers. And we know that we exist. How can we make sure that we exist in the data so that when our community organizations go out there and make the argument, make the case for resources for our communities, that the data is there to back them up? So equitable data policies to me mean being represented in the data, being part of the process when people look at the data and try to figure out how to interpret it, what it means. I think our community should have a hand in that because we know where the data comes from. We know the explanations behind why the data looks like this, and we can bring the historical perspective that a lot of other folks can't. Um, I mean, just as one example, in New Zealand, there was an economist. He said that we need to stop allowing Pacific Islanders, uh, particularly Samoans, from immigrating there. Because if you look at the Samoan community there, they have high unemployment rates, high poverty rates, and that completely ignores the historical context of colonization. How the reason that our community has those numbers is because, like, so many opportunities were taken from us by those who came to our islands and swept up the majority of the economic resources and opportunities that are there. So I feel like if we're going to talk about equitable data, we don't just have to exist in the data, we have to make sure that our people are there when this data is being analyzed and interpreted and used. So that's kind of what I try to advocate for at the Data Policy Lab. But we also are trying to be very mindful that we don't speak on behalf of the community. What we can do, at least to the best of our ability, is try to outreach and ask the community what are the issues that are most important to you? What do you use the data for? And build our work around that because we don't want to just work with data for data's sake. We don't we don't have the time.
Yeah. Where do you like numbers, right? Data, data, data. That's so important for our community to be seen, unfortunately, right? So how are you collecting this data? Are you going door to door? Are you sending out surveys? Like how are you collecting this data?
So our data policy lab is relatively new. And so for the time being, we've been relying on the publicly available data sources. Stuff like the Census Bureau's data set, there's a
Yeah.
California Health Interview Survey. Other federal agencies have their own data sets that we've looked at. We would like to build out our capacity to be able to help other community organizations collect data from the people that they're helping so that they can better track and evaluate how effective their programs are, how effective counties are at serving their communities.
Mm.
Um, so for the time being, we're not getting involved ourselves in collecting the data on the ground just yet, but we hope to do that soon.
So we're like so with data, we would go into the city and disaggregate the numbers that they have and then go into the state. Is that like the census? You broke that down. You and your team broke that down to get the numbers or the data for an HPI.
Yes,
Wow.
yes.
Wow.
Um,
That's
uh,
huge.
what we found from looking at the 2020 census figures is that our community continues to grow extremely rapidly. The NHPI community in the US has grown 30% since 2010.
Wow.
Um, yeah, not a small number. And I think that it's only going to speed up, especially as issues like climate change,
Mhm.
increasing cost of living on the islands might unfortunately mean more of our families might end up having to migrate to the
Right.
US for those economic opportunities, for jobs, higher education, healthcare. So we don't have any reason to believe that the growth of our community is going to slow down anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think Carl always says that in NHPI community is the fastest growing community, right, Carl? Is that what you am I
It's one of
misquoting you?
Yeah, it's one of the youngest ethnic minorities in the
There you
United
go.
States. So, being young, that's actually a problem that some groups have is they don't have that next generation of young people coming up, and we do. So obviously, census work is not seasonal, but there's definitely more work to be done around census years. What's the priority of the health policy research, the UCLA Center and the Data Policy Lab? What's the research like? What's the hot topic that you all are working on right now?
Oh, so one of the hottest topics for us data nerds is the opportunity to make sure we're better represented in federal data. Like right now, federal data is the gold standard. Billions and billions of dollars get allocated around the country to communities based on federal data. And right now, the agency responsible for creating the standards that decide which communities get their data collected and which communities get their data reported is trying to revise and maybe even add on new categories that can better represent our communities for the first time since 1997. So it's been over 25 years since this set of guidelines has been revised. In fact, 1997 is the only time that these guidelines have been revised since they were created in 1977.
Wow.
It
Wow.
takes the federal government a long time to reconsider and improve things. And this is really a once in a generation opportunity for us to get our voices heard because this agency right now is actually asking for comments from the public. What would you like us to do? How can we improve things moving forward? And so they're accepting public comments. And you don't have to be an academic or a researcher. You can be any member of the public and go to their website and submit a comment and ask them, like, I would like you to do this, this, or that. And what we're specifically hoping that they will do is make sure that when there are new forms that are created for our community to select what's our race or ethnicity, that we're not just represented by one box for Native Hawaiians and Pacific Islanders.
I
Because we
love when
know,
I see that. I love the census did that. I loved seeing that. The census in 2020, they had that, check the box, and then Samoan, Tongan, Fiji. Like I love that they had that because we're not used to seeing we're used well, me growing up back in the day, it was other. I had to check other. Then it went to and then Native Hawaiian Pacific Islander. And now we actually get our own box. So I love, love, love that. And I know that happens because of the information that you folks are collecting. And I love that. Can I just tell you that I am on the dashboard all the time just because I'm nosy, because I can break down my county and then I can break down how many Pacific Islanders are around me. And it is, you're right, it is slow. The number is slowly creeping up in the area where I live. So I'm on there like once a month just to be nosy. But I love it because I can click on any county and see how many Pacific Islanders, and it's broken down, Native Hawaiian, Samoan, Fijian, and, if we're mixed or I'm like stalking that thing. So I'm on it just to see who my neighbors are and who and even it goes sorry, Calvin, not to bum rush you, but I love that it breaks down, it breaks down by state, the county of, California. It breaks down my county, who's near me, and it even breaks down like who's renting, who's buying, and even that number is rising. The number of Pacific Islanders that are buying homes. I love that. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I just, I stock that dashboard, so you don't know that, but that's me on there all the time.
Something to think about.
Yeah.
And then maybe you can speak to it, Calvin. And you kind of already did, but just the importance and the magnitude of having an opportunity to change the way that information is gathered. I look at the numbers, and I don't know if we're 0.2 of a percentage of the overall population, or 0.3, but if we're 0.2, what's that, a room of 500 people before you got a actual whole person? You know what I mean? Like we're so such a small part of the population to be recognized or represented in any manner is it's extremely important. But maybe you talked about that, these opportunities to change the forms and change the way data is gathered. Just really emphasize that. How important is that? And do we even know when the next time that may come around?
the way I think about data is it's more than just numbers. when we talk about numbers to public health agencies and officials, they may see fractions of a percent. They may see, all the statistical terminology, confidence intervals, margins of error. And I think the role our community has to play when talking about the importance of this data is what it means to lose someone in our community. And we know that from COVID-19, most of our vulnerable members were our elders, are our elders. They continue to be. And when we lose an elder, we don't just lose uh, a number that just ticks up on the board.
Right.
So many, so much of how we define ourselves is through our language and culture. And oftentimes it's our elders and our grandparents that are there in the household to pass that knowledge down to the grandchildren because both parents often have to be out there working
Right.
one, two, three jobs.
Right.
And when we lose that cultural thread and it gets cut, it's like watching a library burn. Like you lose all of that knowledge that goes with them
Ooh,
and
that's
their
good.
ability to help raise others in our community. And that's how deeply these numbers cut. So even if the numbers look small to these agencies, they mean a tremendous amount to our communities.
Right.
And I think that's a dimension, that's a way of thinking about numbers that I feel like our community needs to make sure that these government agencies need to know. Because early on in the pandemic, there was a certain city health department that told us that we should be glad that our numbers are the percentage of people who are dying are so low. It's like, no, it's not low.
It
Just
wasn't low.
not for us. So making sure that they know that. And even if we didn't have the pandemic, the role that numbers can play in making sure that our own community has control over the narratives that gets told about who we are
Yes.
shouldn't be left in the hands of other people outside the community who are not going to be as interested in making sure they get our stories right as we are.
Yes. I 100% agree. I 100% agree. And I mean, I don't know if it was the pandemic that did this, but I love that. I don't love the pandemic, but I love what it did to our community. Like we ran to the city and state and, and government to get our numbers disaggregated to show them here's proof. Here's proof that we're dying in a crazy number. So um, but we had to do that ourselves, which it was kind of sad. Like we had to go fight for our own numbers where, other communities didn't have to. So I love the work that you guys are doing. And I love the fight that you're fighting. I just, you know, data makes the world go round. And that's what gets us seen, unfortunately. Like we know we're here, but unless we fill out that census, fill out the surveys to let people know that we're actually here in the community. So I know, vote, 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 and fill out those surveys. It's so important. So important. So what else is going on with the UCLA crew there?
Also, we recently released a series of dashboards. I think those were the ones that you mentioned.
Yes.
Part of trying to make this data accessible is how can we make it less of a burden to comb through instead of looking at Excel spreadsheets all
Yeah.
day long. And that's why we created a couple of dashboards. One of them looks at data at the state level,
Mhm.
and it tells our community organizations how many of us there are now, how are we doing economically in terms of housing, in terms of health, also at the California county level. So folks can go to these dashboards and see where the community is at the county level. We also have a couple of COVID-19 dashboards. Our original one was at the state level, and I know you all had um, Carla Thomas and Karina Panaya on your
Yeah.
show to talk about that.
Yes.
We recently introduced a California county level COVID dashboard, and one of the most interesting things we found when building that out was that we couldn't bring up vaccine data, and that's because 25 counties in California show that more NHPIs have gotten a vaccine than there are NHPIs in those counties.
Oh,
So the
wow.
data is bad. We know
Wow.
it's bad.
Right, right.
And and it doesn't do us any good when it looks like we're doing better than we actually are. In fact, that makes it harder for us to argue for resources when we know
Mhm.
we're not doing that well. And so we couldn't, in good conscience, include bad data like that.
Right.
But we do have COVID 19 death and death rate data. Unfortunately, our community still has the highest COVID 19 death rate of any racial or ethnic group in California.
That's awful. I have a question in the chat. Julio is asking, does reporting poly LGBTQ status help with government funding?
I think so. Uh,
I 100%, right? Like, because there's so much funding for the LGBTQ community. Um, right, right, Kelvin?
even at the federal level, I know the Census Bureau has
Yeah.
been trying to figure out that how to get that data for themselves, and it's because we need to not just see where we are in terms of our racial ethnic groups, but where we stand at the intersection of all these other identities as well.
Mm.
And LGBTQ identity has to be one of those.
Oh,
Um,
definitely.
the climate vulnerable communities have to be one of those. The COFA communities have to be one of those. And
Yes.
so being able to see where a community stands within all of these dimensions, within the intersection of those dimensions, I think would be very helpful. But we also need to make sure that this data is protected. We know that unfortunately there are quite a few states now that are starting to pass laws that are removing protections and medical treatment for some of these LGBTQ communities,
Wow.
and making sure that our data is protected if it's going to be collected is extremely important.
Yeah. That's 100%. 100%. How do we do this? How do we keep it protected? Are we doing that in a policy, or how are we doing that?
Unfortunately, the U.S. is kind of taking a hands-off approach and hoping for the best. Maybe we can rely on models that are being used in other countries or other areas like the European Union.
Uh-huh.
They're starting to pass very stringent laws that protect our data, make sure that it can't be shared, and if it's shared, people know who it's being shared with. These private companies, they have to report if there's been a breach and hackers get our data. That could end up online, and that could end up leaving very vulnerable communities at risk.
Okay.
Um, so I think that what we have to do is make sure that our politicians know that our most vulnerable communities have to have their data protected, and it shouldn't just be on us. Whenever we click on software to install, there's like 1,000 pages you have to read and scroll through
Yes.
in order to say yes. Why should that be on us when it's these businesses, these corporations that profit off of our own data, that have the billions of dollars and the resources to be able to protect our data by default instead of us having to say we need it protected? I think that the burden should shift to those that with the resources to deal with it.
We have another question. Lily lives in the state of Nevada. So how and where do I go to see these numbers? And there's a link. And also, Calvin, is the numbers you're speaking of, is it just California? So, and we will share the link. I know there's a link because I use it all the time.
Uh, Definitely. One of our dashboards shows state level data. So Nevada's NHPI data is available on there as well. Um, the data that is available, it does depend on how many NHPIs live in that state, because the more NHPIs there are, the more data is available. And part of the reason is because when there's too few of our community, unfortunately, then privacy becomes an issue.
Uh,
What if there are only, say, 3 people in an area, and you find out that their income is this amount of money? Then it makes it too easy to know
who it
who
is.
those people are. And a lot of our information comes from the Census Bureau. They are mandated to protect the confidentiality of every person who fills out those forms. So it does sometimes put a limit on what we can report, but
So
it's for the protection of people's privacy.
that makes sense. So what is it? Healthpolicy.ucla.edu?
I'll be able to send a Bitly link that you might be able to share afterwards. My apologies.
No problem.
Should have
No
had that
problem.
prepared on my
I
end.
can share the link right after the show. If you send it to me, I'll share it because there's tons of people who want the link and they're curious now because that was me. As soon as your team sent over the link, I was like all over it because I'm so nosy. Because
Yeah,
I'm
we
so
can put it in
nosy.
the
I'm all
comments.
over it. Yeah, I'm all over it. But we will share the link after the show. We'll get it and share it with the world. Share it with the world. Calvin, anything else you want to share with us? We don't want to take up your whole evening because it's 6:50 in California and Calvin has to go get ready for the game and he's got to eat dinner. He's got to eat dinner. We don't want to keep him too long, but is there anything else that we missed? Because we really want to share all the work that you guys are doing there at the Data Policy UCLA Research Center.
Being based in LA, I'm not too familiar with the status of the Oakland A's, but I wish them all the best, and I wish all the fans up there in the Bay
I
Area the
know.
best. But no, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to be on your show.
Oh my God, we're so grateful for all the great information that you shared with us and for our audience. And everybody wants the link, so if you could send that to me, then we will share that with everyone online. And thank you so much for your time. We appreciate all the work that you and your team are doing. You and Alicia are kicking ass over there, and we love it. We love it. We're prospering from your work. We really are. Everyone in all the states are really prospering from all the work that you're doing. So thank you so much. And thank you for all the work that you're doing. And we will share the link. Calvin will share the link with us so that you too can go check out the dashboard because it really holds a lot of interesting information. There, of course, everybody's privacy is, taken into consideration. There's no names; it's just numbers, and it's really very interesting. So I will share the link when we're done. So thank you, Calvin. We appreciate you. Thank you for coming on this evening.
Thank you, Calvin.
Mahalo.
Take care.
Always a pleasure to
I love Calvin.
honor to help Alicia and Calvin out. Anytime they're doing
Yeah.
something and they ask for help, we're in.
Yes, we're in. So thank you so much. I know, wasn't that interesting? Like, and Julio, like I am so nosy, right? I'm checking Sacramento, I'm checking the data where people live. But what I really love is that because it's breaking down like how many NHPI people rent, how many NHPI people buy, homes. And it's like every year or every 6 months, 6 to 8 months, I'll go in there and look just because 'cause I'm nosy, and the number of NHPI people that are buying homes is going up. I love it. I love it. Sí, light the beam, sí.
Speaking of which, we better get to the rest of our show so that you can
Yes.
go see. They're not going to light a beam tonight.
Yes, yes,
No
yes,
beam tonight. It's in San Francisco. So we're going to
yes.
get to let's do our community announcements.
Okay.
Um, and we will start with Fangongo o Samoa. Their casting call. Samoan Solutions invites all actors and actresses to audition for an upcoming play that will be open to all age groups. While experience is preferred, it is not required. Auditions for specific roles will be held, and all cast members will be required to attend weekend rehearsals. If you are interested, please contact Samoan Solutions through their Instagram or Facebook page.
Rhythmic Catalyst is pleased to present a live performance by Will Gittins, Anna Brown, and David Thomas on April 28th at Malavali Hall, located at India Community Center on 524 Kacha Street, Milpitas. Doors open at 7 p.m., people. General admission tickets are available for $30, VIP $60. Secure your spot by purchasing your ticket at rhythmiccatalyst.com. Additionally, we are excited to announce that Fee, who was a guest in the studio a couple of weeks back, will be performing with the artist Fia at the same location May 4th. Get your tickets.
Fee. Don't sleep on the good girls. Let's see. The Pacific Islander Wellness Festival is happening April 29th. Got a lot of things going on April 29th.
Oh my God, so many things.
This one in particular is at Treasure Island, 13th Street, Space H in San Francisco from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. There will be live music resources, physical activities, including touch rugby for all ages. Touch rugby usually turns into regular rugby, but it'll start touch rugby. They are requesting that you bring your own food and beverages. Fruit infused water stations will be provided by SFUSD Student and Family Services. Bottled water will be sold as a fundraiser for the San Francisco Golden Gate Youth Rugby Club.
Okay, go ahead.
There you
Um,
go. There you go.
Real quick while Julio is still on. Julio, Holo Holo, Sacramento. It's not one of our announcements, but I better see you there. Okay, I'll inbox you. Okay, where am I? Also on April 29th at 11 a.m., Pacific Day will be taking place from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. at Bloom House, located at 2555 Pulgas Avenue in East Palo Alto. This is a free event. We love free. Free event that is suitable for the entire family. Attendees will have the opportunity to enjoy a variety of cultural and educational activities, indulge in delicious food, poly food, engage in family dances, appreciate music, and view the Fangongo larger than life art exhibit by our very own Pidi Toilolo and Samoan Solutions. The day's performers will include the new artist buddies, Tea Elani, Fee, our very own Fee, finally, the Tupa family, Reno on Hawaii, Bay Area's Reno on Hawaii, and the very amazing, crazy, gonna get you up off your feet, DJ Silla. Please bring your own lawn chairs and note that outside food, drinks, and alcohol is a no-no. They got food and stuff for you to buy there. This event is designated to celebrate different cultures in the Pacific Islands while promoting a sense of community. We will see you there. EPA.
EPA. And then we're going back up the peninsula to Philip and Sala Burton High School on this same day. We are still on April 29th. The Fealofani Festival will take place from 12 to 3 p.m. Once again, that's at the Philip and Sala Burton High School. This is also a free community event that celebrates our youth and
Yay.
fellowship. Please register and secure your spot for the 2023 Fealofani Festival at the Samoan Community Development Center's Instagram handle at SEDC_SF. We look forward to seeing you there. No matter where you're at, there is a free event on April 29th.
Right. The Ukulele Festival is set to take place on Sunday, April. Oh, like ukulele, the guitar ukulele festival is set to take place on Sunday, April 30th at the James Logan High School Center for the Performing Arts in Union City, California. The festival runs from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. and is open to individuals 13 years and older. Admission price is $10. For additional information on the event, please visit the festival's Instagram page, NorCal Ukulele Festival. We hope to see you there.
Let's see. Island Grad is taking place on Saturday, May 13th at the San Bernardino Valley College Greek Theater starting at 6 p.m. Pacific time. The event is designed to honor all graduates of Pacific Islander heritage from the class of 2023, including those from high school, community college, grad school, technical schools, military, first responders, and many others. This, too, is a free event with free parking. In addition, there will be complimentary food, that means free, available on a first-come, first-served basis from 3 to 6 p.m. The graduation ceremony will commence at 6 p.m. and conclude at 8. For more information, please email them at contact@islandgrad.org.
Awesome. I love it. I love free. I love free. The Samoan Community Development Center, SCDC, is pleased to announce their upcoming Samoan Wellness Initiative SWE event entitled Eleutasi Se Tangata. I think it's Eletu To'atasi Setsugata. We Do Not Stand Alone, which will take place on May 17th from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. at Southeast Community Center, located at 1550 Evans in San Francisco. 3rd and Evans, right at that corner. In 2013, SWE has been providing mental health programming and activities and hired their first in-house clinician to provide clinical services and more to the Samoan and Pacific Islander community. Now, in 2023, they are celebrating 10 years of dedicated hard work that has flourished in the community they serve. Thank you so much, SWE, and we will see you there May 17th.
We've benefited from SWE's wellness initiative, the Samoan.
Yes, we love it. I know, Lily, the Bay is busy.
The
Might
Bay
as well
is busy.
might as
And
well move back, Lily. Might as well move back, girl. Might as well move back.
is she still living out there? She's taken all the sports teams out there with her. The Raiders
That's
would
right.
follow her, and now the A's are following her out there. She needs to come back.
Yeah, all the
Let's
wrong
see.
teams are going out there for her. Go ahead. We got
One
one.
of our favorite events in the spring every year, we look forward to Pacific Islands Together Shine Day, happening May
Yes.
20th at Jefferson High School from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Pacific time. It's a free family event with dancing, music, performances, and food vendors. If you're interested in being a vendor, reach out to pitvendorinfo@gmail.com.
Talofa, everyone. This is Auntie Lena speaking, so please listen up. There's a disease out there that's killing our people. It's called hepatitis B. 1 out of 12 immigrant Pacific Islanders are infected with hepatitis B in the US, and it makes you 100 times more likely to get liver cancer. 2/3 of those infected don't know it because there are often no symptoms until it's too late. Ask your doctor for a Hep B test today or call us at 510-674-5843 or visit us at sfhepbfree.org. Find us on Facebook and leave a message. A 5-minute test can save your life, so just do it. This message brought to you by SF Hep B Free.
Okay, Lena. Miss
Go,
Willie
Lena.
G took out her own commercial. I love Lena. She was at the All My Usos blood drive. She had her San Francisco Hep B free booth there. So she's doing a lot of great work, and you will see her at Pacific Islander Festival at Treasure Island on April 29th. Yes, yes, yes. So we're so excited. Okay, bye, Julio. Good luck. Love you. All right. So Julio's signing off. He'll be back later, but we have our Pacifica Proud, which we will be going into. So, Carl, you want to go into your Pacifica
Okay.
Proud?
So my Pacifica Proud is the islands of the Pacific. So if we all remember Fukushima in 2011, they
Mm.
had the nuclear disaster going on there with the reactor. Um, the Japanese approached the Pacific about dumping more nuclear waste, which they claim is treated and safe, into
Oh, what is that?
yeah, right.
Oh,
And I'm proud
gross.
because the uh, the I don't know all of the Pacific Islands that were
Uh-huh.
represented, but I know
Oh,
Kiribati right there
Kiribati.
was represented. I know that the Marshall Islands was represented, and the leaders in the
Nice.
Pacific said, "No, we're not doing that."
Right.
So good for them. There was money involved. There was,
Yes. That's
hey, it's
great.
perfectly safe. And for all the things that have happened, especially like you look at what happened in the Marshall Islands with the nuclear testing, and
Yeah.
then they have all the things going on, and then to have Japanese, there's the Minister of Economy and Trade and Industry talking about how safe the items are, and if they're safe, then you probably don't need. It's like saying this is a gun-free zone, right? If you're telling me it's so safe to put this stuff in the water, it doesn't make me feel very safe. So good for the leaders out in the Pacific.
Yay.
They said no, and so Japan's going to have to figure out a different way to get rid of their nuclear waste. So
Put it
that
in your own water. Put it in your own water.
figure out how to deal with it completely and 100%. So that's
That's
my
awesome.
Pacifica Proud this week.
Okay, go, 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 Pacific Islands. My Pacifica Proud is the American Idol star that steals everybody's heart every week. Will Tongi. He this week, what I love about what he did is that it's the first live show, it's the first round of the live show, and after, they did the live show Sunday and Monday, and then this Monday, they'll decide you had to vote, it was a live vote. You can't vote now, but the decision of who is going to go through is gonna happen on Monday, this 3 days from now, right? Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, 4 days. But if you didn't vote and if you didn't see it, like his live performance, they're in Hawaii now. He's gone home, but his performance, the song that he chose was Don't Let Go by Spawn Breezy. And I love like when I seen the performance, I was like screaming and just so happy because he played Spawn Breezy's song, like, now Spawn Breezy is gonna blow up. I mean, he was already, like, really popular within our community, right? And I'm hoping this will launch him into what is it?
Mainstream. Mainstream.
Mainstream, like, because and what I love about what, um, Will did was he's bringing somebody with him up, you know what I mean? He's bringing somebody with him, um to the top, right? So I love that this kid played another Pacific Islander song, and I love that it was Spawn Breezy, and I hope that he plays more Pacific Island. I know there's a lot of rules with American Idol, so they probably had to do a lot to get Spawn Breezy to sign off on it, but um for him to bring another PI along with him on his rise to success really melted my heart, and it just felt like so you go to watch this video that has 4 million views. 4 million. It has 4 million views, and here's the video, I think Mena is gonna play it. This video has 4 million views.
It's from your eyes. I just love it. As long as you're by my side, you won't shed no tears. 'Cause everything will be just fine. As long as you don't let go. Don't let go. Don't let go. Do. Everything will be just fine as long as you stay by my side. Don't let go.
Right? How crazy was that? Like 4 million views. That means every PI on social media watched that video. And I checked the other videos of the other contestants, and they're doing really good too, right? Like they've got like 100, 200,000 views. I think the last performer, like I was stalking that page, the last performer of the night, she got 500,000 views. But like this kid got 4 million views over like close to 300,000 likes, 6,000 comments where everybody, the other, not to compare, totally not to compare, but the other,
You're supposed to compare. That's why you vote.
right, the other contestants were just a little less, not too far behind him, but it just shows this. Well, one, he's very talented, right?
He makes you feel. And it doesn't matter whether you're brown,
Exactly.
white, green, whatever, he'll touch
He
your heart.
pulls at yes, he pulls at your heartstrings. So I love this kid's performance. Even his audition was amazing. He's a young kid, a PI kid. And of course, like the PI community went crazy when we heard Spawn Breezy on, like mainstream TV. So congratulations to him. He's definitely moving on. Like 4 million views. Yeah, even if half of those people voted, like he's going through it. We're so proud. Every PI in the world is proud of him. And I'm so Like, it really melted my heart for him to bring another PI up with him. So yes, I love it. I love it. I love it. So that is my Pacifica proud. I'll be stalking him soon.
Everybody who watches better vote. Vote. Don't
Yes.
me.
Sunday and Monday, they'll be eliminating people. And then I believe later on in the week, they'll have another round of live shows. Please, 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 everyone, please go vote for this kid. It doesn't go back on YouTube or wherever you have to go watch the previous shows. But for him to sing, a Spawn Breezy song on national television was freaking badass. So there you go. So that's us.
Good for him. Good for him.
Yes, I'm so happy for him. I'm just everyone was proud. It was just that's all you seen all week was this kid and how he brought. I mean, of course, Spawn Breezy knew because I'm sure he had to sign off on stuff and give them permission, and so just proud. I was a proud mama. I was a proud mama. There you go, proud mama. So even though it's not my kid, but every auntie now has claimed this kid. But
Oh yeah, he's everybody's
right.
nephew, cousin,
So anyway, that was a great show. Great information. We're going to get the link from Calvin. We're going to share it with everyone. And then you can be stalking like me, stalking people, our NHPI community. The dashboard has great information. And actually, I have the link as well. So if we don't, I just want to make sure that Calvin gets I don't know if I have the latest link, but the link that I use gives me the information. So I probably do. So I will share that on my social media. I will personally text it to Lily. And then I think that's all I have. Go Warriors, go Warriors, go Warriors.
Go Dub.
Yes, we're here every Thursday, 6 p.m. Come back to FICA with us.
Love y'all.
Huh? Yeah, goodbye.